But definitely know that Jersey Girls will be around after the new year. We know we still have a lot of work still to do in 2021. So look to see on our not only our Facebook page, but our newsletters that are going to be coming out, letting you know of the different engagements and things that we're going to have going on in collaborations with other women organizations throughout the nation into the year in 2021. My name is Rachel Green, part of the Jersey Girls Leadership. We also have on the line with us tonight is Kelly Redcoles, also part of our leadership here. Kari, also part of the team, Kari Ramirez. And a couple of them that aren't with us this evening, they do send their apologies, is Jessica Dress, as well as Christine Black. So again, thank you for joining us. And I am going to hand the mic over to Kelly. She's going to give you a few words, and then we have a wonderful video that we wanted to share with you this evening that I think just kind of speaks to the sisterhood and definitely how important Georgia is going to be in the next coming weeks.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, I'm Kelly, and I don't have much to say tonight other than, it's been a long road and it ended and we had a little break and then we're back at it again. So we're just a couple weeks away from a really important Senate race. We need these 2 seats so that we can hopefully be able to push the agenda that the Biden-Harris team has put in place, which every day I get more and more excited with the announcements of, people joining the administration and the cabinet members. It's really an exciting time. So getting these 2 seats would be, just what we need at this moment. I'm ready to do my postcards. I was going to do it tonight, but sometimes it's a little hard to for me to do that while we're doing this, but I'm ready for this weekend. I got my 20 addresses and I got my postcards and I'm going to write them and I'm going to send them in the mail on Monday, and then hopefully people will be getting them shortly and will remember to vote. But like Rachel said, we'll show a clip in a little bit. I was inspired by the rally the other day where President-elect Joe Biden was speaking in Georgia. So I don't know if anyone had a chance to see it. Multiple speakers. Stacey Abrams was there as well. Both John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock spoke, and it was, it was just a really awesome event to watch and to hear them speak and what their mission was. And it just drives home the importance of these 2 seats. So thank you for joining us tonight, and I will pass it back to Rachel or Kari. I'm not really sure who, but.
Kari, are we ready with the video or do you need more time?
If you could give me just a second so I can cue it up.
Okay, sure.
So just like a minute.
Oh, no problem. In the interim, while Kari is getting the video ready for us to show, she's going to be speaking after that, and she's going to be telling you about Envoys for Humanity and their postcarding campaign. So if you have, which I know is tough for some of us, a little downtime over the next couple of weeks, it would be so important to send out a holiday greeting card, postcard to those in Georgia, just to remind them how important they are to us and how we hope they'll go out and vote on January 5th. So with that being said, we're going to give Kari, you good, or you need a little bit more time? You good? All right, ladies, we're going to get ready to watch this fabulous video.
Well, good afternoon to the great blue state of Georgia. It always seems impossible until it's done. Those words may have been spoken by Nelson Mandela many years ago, but today they capture the mood of more than 81 million voters across this country. It always seems impossible until it's done. When Joe Biden entered the presidential race for the 3rd time, many thought it would be impossible that he would receive the Democratic nomination until it was done. Just last month, when you showed up to the polls across Georgia in record numbers, people thought it would be impossible to turn Georgia blue until it was done. As we face an historic opportunity in this state to elect Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, two men who with their presence will change the balance of the United States Senate. It may seem impossible, Georgia, but when you show up to vote, we will get it done. Voters like you, of every race, creed, and sexual orientation, took the words of Congressman John Lewis to heart when he said, "Nothing can stop the power of a committed and determined people to make a difference in our society." You made a difference simply by showing up to vote in November. And because you dared to use the power of your vote, the moral arc of this country now bends towards a more just America. I was recently asked what makes me optimistic. Without hesitation, I responded, my children. You see, when I look at them, I can't help but hope for a better tomorrow. A tomorrow in which the color of their skin does not equate to a subtraction of the years that they will spend on this earth. A tomorrow in which I can have hopes for my children beyond them simply surviving, but dreams of them thriving and having the freedom to be all God created them to be. When I look at my children, I am optimistic because I know their future will not be left up to fate. Because in just a few short weeks, there will be a president and a vice president in the White House who will make decisions with my children and millions of children across this country on their hearts and on their minds. It always seems impossible until it's done. We're no strangers to close races here in Georgia. In case you've forgotten, the Atlanta mayor's race just a few years ago, the week of the election, the polls showed that I was 6 points down, and people across the country started calling their aunties, and they were texting their cousins, and they were posting on social media asking, what are y'all doing in Atlanta? The energy created from that groundswell helped fuel our victory. People who had not voted in years came out to vote. And with just 832 votes, I was elected the 60th mayor of Atlanta. Throughout that campaign, I reminded people all across Atlanta that Atlanta was a place where impossible dreams were still able to take form. Well, that's still true today. The impossible dream of turning Georgia blue and keeping Georgia blue can and will take form if you show up to vote on January 5th. Georgia, it was close, but we got it done for President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. But even with our record turnout in November, nearly 1 million registered African American voters in this state stayed home. That's 1 million too many. It always seems impossible until it's done. And so that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be able to do the work that they need to get done for the people of Georgia who are wondering where their next meal will come from, who are grieving the loss of a loved one to COVID-19, for the people who are out of work across this country. We must get it done for Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock on January 5th. In the words of Audre Lorde, revolution is not a one-time event. In the words of Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without a demand. In the words of John Lewis, we may not have chosen the time, but the time has chosen us. In the words of Andre 3000, the South's got something to say, and that's all I'm gonna say. It may seem impossible, Georgia, but we can, we must, and we will get it done. Thank you, and may God bless and keep each of you.
Wow, she's always fabulous every time you hear her speak. Absolutely loved the last few quotes. Like, she ended it so perfectly. I loved it, loved it, loved it. But I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, as they say here with our group tonight. We all know what's at stake and what we need to do, to be frankly honest with you. I'm going to pass the mic over to Kari, who's going to give us our instructions on postcarding activities and what Envoys is going to be doing in the next week or so as we head into 2021.
Thank you, Rachel. So my name is Kari Ramirez, and I'm the co-founder of Envoys for Humanity. And currently right now, we are doing a postcard writing campaign to Georgia. We are reaching out to young Black voters in rural areas and making sure that they have all the voter information that they need. So when early voting dates are, the phone number, the website, and different things like that. And we are proud and excited to partner with Jersey Girls and do a postcarding holiday little tilt on it. And so if you do request addresses and you put that you're writing for Jersey Girls, then you will get a separate script. It's the same list of addresses, but you'll get a different script that has just a little bit of holiday cheer on it. And then all the information that the voter's going to need. And so if you would like to write postcards, we still have some time. We have about a week and a half-ish before we're going to stop writing them. So I'm going to post the website in the chat, and you can go to our website at any time and request addresses, and we will get you started. We just, very excited, we just built an automated system. And so if you're a verified writer and you've written with us before, it's cool to watch the whole thing go. You see somebody's name pop up, and then it gets moved into the completed section, and the addresses are assigned all by a program. So we're able to get these addresses out to you guys quicker, so you can write on the postcards, and then you can get them out in the mail. We have so far, since, and the numbers, I think this was from yesterday, so they're going to be a little bit higher, but we have written to Georgia, just to Georgia. We started on November 10th, and we have written over 109,000 postcards to Georgians. And so very, very exciting. We are at now about 182,000 postcards is what we've written since June, when we started writing postcards. During the general, we wrote to help register voters in Texas, in Michigan, and Florida. We did a youth outreach in Florida, and then we also wrote to North Carolina. And so from that date when we first started, we're at 183,000 postcards, and we want to get to 200,000. We want to be able to reach 200,000 voters this cycle, the election cycle. So you can help out by writing postcards yourself. Grab some friends and get on a Zoom and write postcards where you have some adult beverages, if that's your thing, or have some meat and cheese, I don't know, but make it fun. Get your friends involved. Send anybody that would be interested to our website at envoysforhumanity.org/postcarding. And let's try to reach that mark and reach out to these voters. I keep hearing all these stories about people getting these postcards in the mail, and it does make an impact because it's handwritten. So it's not some polished, campaign or candidate looking literature that a lot of times you just kind of glance at and then it goes right into the trash. They're handwritten, they're grassroots. Volunteers are doing the work. And so it does really make an impact to get these postcards out to these people. And so if you can help us reach our goal of getting past the mark of 200,000, meaning we've reached 200,000 200,000 voters all across the country, and in particular in Georgia, because that's where our focus is right now. So help out if you can. We also try to inject joy into the work every Tuesday night in December. So we have 2 left. We do Zocalo Zoom. So it's a space for activists to come to recharge, to take action, while we get to experience live music, live artists, and inspirational speakers, and we write postcards together. And we really want to open it up to all organizations. So if you're not writing with Envoys, but you're writing postcards with somebody else, feel free to join us. If you're text banking, feel free to join us. If you're writing a blog about the importance of voting, join us and just sit down and relax while you get to take in this whole virtual experience. All are welcome. And even if you just need a break from the middle of the week, come join us. So all the information is on that website. We just kind of put it in one-stop shop. So again, envoysforhumanity.org/postcarding. Not only can you get addresses there, but there's also a link to our virtual events page, and that will list everything that we have going on and how to get signed up. And that's about it. So please, please, please share with friends and family and get everybody involved. And let's do this. Let's get Georgia, man. We need to get those Senate seats so we can do all the work. We have a lot of work still to be done even after January 5th. So thank you guys. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Kari, for that. Oh, that's for sure. We definitely have a lot of work still to do. Unfortunately, there was a lot of things that were done in the last 4 years that are going to need to be reversed, and we're going to need to build upon that. With that being said, we're going to lighten up the night a little bit. We have the fabulous Karen with us, our mixologist, who's going to give us this week's fabulous drink for us to prepare, hopefully in the coming weeks.
Hi, thank you. Trying to make this fun and as simple as possible. I don't know if any of you guys are foodies or if you watch cooking shows, but if you do, okay, hi, yay. Okay, Christina Tosi, who has the Milk Bar in New York City, okay? She is, anybody who doesn't know, she's amazing at cakes and cookies, and she made up cereal milk, which is, the milk that's left over in your cereal. Okay. I found a good recipe. So I made a recipe from lots of recipes for a sugar cookie martini, but I made sugar cookie milk inspired by her. So it's really easy. I just put a cup of milk in this measuring cup and I made sugar cookies. Okay. And I put a few in here and they've been soaking. I smushed them up. They've been soaking, but it's going to be part of this martini. I'm trying to make drinks that everybody just of things you have. So I figured everybody might have some Christmas cookies now. So it's hard to demonstrate this stuff. No. I'm gonna just pour the cereal milk out. The cookies have been soaking. They have some sprinkles in them, so they're gonna be pretty too, because that's always important. That's just, I'm mixing up my order of making stuff because I've been drinking, okay? So,
You have to taste test as you go along.
Exactly. So this is one of the components of the drink, but I remembered I wanted to do the glass, because the reason I did this drink is because how pretty it looked. So presentation is important. If you have a martini glass and you have some icing, and you can make icing with like milk and confectioner sugar, like just a regular simple icing, but I had icing in this Betty Crocker stuff. Put a little icing on the edge of your glass all around. I'm not going to make it too neat because of time, and it's not a real cooking show where I have 15 things ready, but the idea is first prepare your glass, a little icing all around. And if you're doing parties, this is fun. And then if you have the sprinkles that are the little tiny balls, the nonpareils, I have them on a plate. I don't have a ton of those left, and the storage apparently out of them, but I'm putting the glass in the nonpareil sprinkles that I have. I can do a better job, but look how pretty, okay? I don't know if you can see that. That's the first step, really. And then when you drink it, you have the icing and the decorations. All right, so the drink. I did the cookie milk. Beyond that, it's simple. This is my shot glass. Okay, it says proud Democrat, right? I only had this back because my college student came home because he took all of them to school to drink for Democrats, because the first year he was in is when he who shall not be named got voted in. And not all of his friends in his dorm were liberal. So he drank with these. I got it back. We have a shot of vodka. This was the clincher, butterscotch schnapps. If you don't have butterscotch schnapps, I can't say it. You can use butterscotch stairs. I literally had one drink, not drunk. I just can't say it. Butterscotch syrup. You can make a syrup if you want, or just use the schnapps is really good. Okay, so 1 to 1 to 1. Vodka, butterscotch, schnapps. And I have a vanilla liqueur, which is really good for this. I made a drink for Kelly. We live close by. Hers is with vanilla rum. So Kelly, yeah, there we go. It's a little rummy, but I like it better with the vanilla, but I'm almost out of this.
I didn't have any icing, so I couldn't do the sprinkle thing, but that does look good.
As long as you have all the
I'm like so jealous right now.
Okay, so
I have sprinkles, just not the icing.
I did a shot of vodka, a shot of vanilla liqueur, and a shot of butterscotch schnapps. You can always substitute Bailey's for the vanilla liqueur. Bailey's has a vanilla thing. You can substitute vanilla vodka. Like you could just play with it, do whatever you want. It's your drink, which is kind of what I did. So there's 3 shots of booze in here. Okay. And then I'm going to say like some of the recipes were like more liquor than the cookie milk. And I like strong drinks and that was too strong for me. So I would say do it to taste. The cookie milk looks fun because there's little like dots of color in it because there were sprinkles on my cookies. But I'm gonna do all of it. So it's a little more than 3 shots of the cookie milk. And a little ice just to chill it. This is not perfect. I'm not professional. You should see the mess on my counter right now. But for presentation purposes, it's like Facebook. You only see the good stuff. Okay. You have your pretty glass. Okay. Perfect proportions. I don't know who's going to drink this drink. Okay. I made little tiny cookies that are candy canes because you're supposed to hang one on the glass.
Oh,
That's
love
cute.
it.
Okay,
Yes, it
mine.
is. Cheers.
Okay.
I
Cheers.
love
And
it.
you got the icing thing going
It
on.
smells really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Mhm.
It's good.
You good? Oh, wow.
Okay, trust
Love
me,
it.
I can
Love
smell
If I
the
could have a party and invite
butterscotch.
you all over, I totally would.
Mm,
it.
Thank you for all the work you're doing again. For having me.
yummy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
We
you,
enjoyed
Karen.
this.
And
Like the
happy
favorite part
holidays.
of,
These are
oh,
fun.
definitely. You too.
Thank you.
Like the favorite part of our week, right, Kel?
I know. I was like, so what are you gonna make this week?
Right. Did she send the recipe yet?
I'll write that up. I will get that written up. This is good.
I think
And like
homework
she said,
assignment. Yeah, homework
like-
assignment. Everyone has to make the drink and take a picture with the drink and
I
post it
have
on
to
the
write
page.
up the ingredients and I'll send them to you, Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I like that it's like you said, like most people will have milk or sugar cookies or things like this. Now maybe they don't have that certain liqueur or anything like that. But like you said, I think even tasting it, you know, somebody probably has something that they could put in there that will, you know, still make it taste good. But I would have never really thought to have sugar cookies sit in milk and then add that to make a drink.
Right. Oh, I love it. Love it. So everyone, we're excited to have Robin Donaldson. Robin is with us tonight. Robin is actually out of Georgia. She is our eyes and ears and guru on the ground, letting us know what's happening, what's going on, and helping to direct us on activities that we can do to really truly help out our fellow Georgians. Bring it over the finish line. Also, congratulations to Robin. She is also part of the OSOF campaign. Woo-hoo! So I knew we were going to win Georgia once they brought Robin on board because she is absolutely just fabulous. So with that being said, here is our fabulous Robin. Robin, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a whirlwind of a week. And so thank you to all of the Facebook groups who, held these events and came together. It was a huge help. And now everyone can go into the holiday season feeling like they've done something productive towards the runoff and, get a little rest and, spend time with your family and friends. And then hopefully, for that last push before the runoff towards the new year, hopefully you can come back again and help us one more time. So thank you again, really appreciate it. So I do have some great news. Over 1 million people have voted already in the runoff in Georgia. So that is outstanding. I mean, we're even, breaking records when it comes to early voting. I think it was like the first 3 days of in-person early voting, which was this week. There were more people who voted on those days during the runoff than in the general election. So that's outstanding news and, promising news. And let's see, then there's also over 100,000 people who did not vote in the presidential election who have already requested their ballots for the Georgia runoff. So that's another huge thing as well that's happening here. The youth vote, their numbers are up and, on par and, seem to be doing well. So that's great that a lot of them are still, paying attention. And then in Fulton County, which is a heavily Democratic county, that was the county that when I think it was on election day when they hadn't called Georgia yet. And then, a lot of people were just, getting nervous in general that day after Florida was called. But when they said Fulton County hasn't counted their votes yet, then, people who knew Georgia were like, oh, okay, like Fulton County's not in yet, so it's like the Broward County, of Georgia, heavily Democratic base. So in Fulton County, where the Democrats did very well this cycle, there's nearly 10,000 new voters in just Fulton County alone who did not vote in the general. So we're just gonna keep working to turn those people out to vote early in person and just getting people to return their ballots. So I do think a lot of people might have been excited and wanting to get voting out the way and wanting to get voting done before the holidays. And then, after the holidays, there will be those people who wait till the last minute. So we have to just be, ready for those people too. And then when it comes to the absentee ballot request, let's see, looking right now. So for people who requested absentee ballots in Georgia, that number is also approaching the numbers of the general election. So again, huge numbers here. So like in the general election, that number was the same time today, that number was 1.9 million people had requested ballots and absentee ballots. And then for the runoff, it's at 1.89 million. So it's great that people are definitely still engaged. So this is, I think a good sign, that things are on the right track, but we just can't, let up at all because it still is a very close race. I don't really try to pay too much mind, to the polls, but, I look every now and then, and when I do, it's either tied or either candidate might be up, a half a point or a point or two, and then, or, both ways. So, so we just still have to, and then again, that might not be accounting for these new voters, but we still have to just be vigilant. So things have been going really well. There's a initiative that's happening with an outside organization or group, Win with Black Women, and some of them have they orchestrated an Instagram takeover, so they would pair different celebrities with Black organizers on the ground in Georgia, and the organizer would take over the celebrity's Instagram. So I know like Demi Lovato and Kerry Washington, they allowed Latasha Brown to kind of do an Instagram takeover. And Latasha Brown is with Black Voters Matter. So Black Voters Matter, they're another great organization. They've been traveling around really the South and throughout Georgia for the runoff, registering voters and doing like community service work. And they've been doing holiday giveaways, and they're going to, all of these rural towns and small towns that maybe don't always see a lot of candidates or attention. And so it was one interesting story that Latasha Brown, she told that just stuck with me. And I've been of this belief as well. The South has been able to be, held back because of voter suppression. And that was how the Republicans were, keeping a grip on a lot of these states all this time. Plus, the Democratic Party's lack of investment in Southern states for, probably, until maybe a month or two ago when the general election happened. So hopefully that will change. But she was talking about how, when you look at a lot of these people in Congress who are in control on the Republican side and holding up progress, they're from the South, Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. And, when you look at that, it's like they are holding back all this other progress. So she was saying, it doesn't matter if you're from, New York or California or Chicago or wherever else you're from, if you're in a blue state and you have all of this, great progressive policy, but then we don't see any change on the federal level because you have the Mitch McConnells in charge and Lindsey Graham's, and they're blocking progress and then, holding the rest of the any kind of progress, from happening. So it's so important that we were able to break that stronghold here in Georgia, and hopefully we can do it again for the Senate races as well. So, and I wanted to share one story too that I spoke with. Hopefully, maybe the next time we talk, I can go a little bit more into what I'm doing with the OSSOF campaign. But I was interviewing a man who lives in Rex, Georgia. I haven't heard of Rex, Georgia, but I had spoken with him, and he, was nearly in tears, and he's 55 years old, and he was telling me that he and his wife, both lost everything because of COVID, and and the way things were handled. They both lost their jobs, both lost their health care, and then his wife's father contracted the coronavirus, and he ended up dying, and they were on the phone with him, hearing his last breath. And his wife, like, she's very paranoid. She doesn't want to go out, at all, understandably. But he said he had to go out and work because they're 3 months behind on their bills. And so now he's working at a fast food restaurant. He said making, $9 an hour. And he said he always had jobs where he was in a supervisor position. And he was telling me his rent was $1,000 a month at his house. And he just said, there's just no way, he can make it off of that. And then he was saying he'd been calling to get these different social services. And he said, there's no help. He's like, we call every day, and the phone just rings, and they won't even answer the phone. And it was so sad, but at the same time, and he just started voting just 2 years ago. He just started voting in 2018, probably for Stacey, but like, he just started, voting. But he was also very fired up and said, this is why he was going to get out there and do everything he can to make sure that Warnock and Ossoff both won their seats, because he said, things have to change and there isn't any help. And so it's great, because this is probably somebody who, he just started voting. He probably, doesn't always vote in runoffs. And, he said he's going to continue to talk to people at his job. So those are the kind of people that we just have to keep in mind, that we're fighting for out here, because, it's just really a shame. I watched a video with David Perdue, I think it was on Now This or one of those sites, and it was from years ago when it was some kind of panel a hearing that he was commenting on student loans and things like that. And I mean, just the answers he was giving, it was just like so smug and, you know, just no compassion. And, you know, what he was saying was not even based in any kind of reality of, you know, the times that we're in, you know, the things he was saying. So the people who are in leadership here are just terrible, terrible leaders, you know. So they're really hurting people in Georgia, and we cannot allow these people to continue to hurt the rest of the country by holding up progress. So thanks again for everyone, for all your work, everybody who participated kind of in our kind of early voting kind of homecoming week we had. We had events every day. And I know all the fatigue and everything is catching up with me, but you know, physically, but energetically, thank you again, because it really has kept our spirits up to know that other people are also fighting so hard for Georgia, who may not be here as well. So if anyone has any questions, you know, happy to answer them. One thing they are trying to do is close, you know, early voting sites. You know, they're trying to challenge us in court, you know, but they're losing a lot of these cases. And we just have to continue to be really vigilant. A lot of I think it was Doug Collins was on Newsmax today saying that Stacey Abrams is trying to suppress the Republican vote because she keeps bragging and touting early voting numbers of the Democrats, or you know, of not so much the Democrats because it's not by party, but she's touting early voting numbers. And then Lindsey Graham said that Stacey, she tricked the Republicans into changing the laws, or, you know, something. She might have done that, but no, but, you know, she just knows how to beat them at their own game. And a lot of these things that they've been trying just aren't working anymore. And there's just way more scrutiny now. So, but if they could, you know, they would absolutely steal whatever election that they could. So, so all we can do is keep organizing. You know, we have like maybe 18 or 20 or some days left. So again, thank you. And any questions you have, I'm happy to answer them.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Robin. We have such a wonderful, intimate crowd tonight. So if you have any questions for Robin, please just unmic yourself, or unmute yourself, that is, and ask your question. Don't be shy, ladies.
Robin, I just want to say congratulations.
Go ahead, Kari.
Just so excited for you. And Rachel's right. We know we're going to win Georgia now because they brought Robin onto the team. Just your dedication and your passion and your knowledge, just for Georgia, for your home state, is infectious, and giving us, you know, that Georgia link for us that are outside of Georgia to just be able to know what's going on the ground, and knowing what's important to Georgians. So congratulations on that. And yeah, that's all I had to say, really.
Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, I don't think you were on earlier, but we played the portion from the rally when President-elect Biden was there earlier this week. Was it Monday? I feel like this week flew by, but I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
It seems like it was just like maybe 1 or 2 days ago, but I guess it was Monday. But Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms spoke there. And so we played that clip because when I was watching, the whole thing was fabulous between Stacey Abrams and her. And I mean, that whole rally was just very inspiring. But we ended up playing that clip tonight. Just, I thought that was another wonderful one. So I could feel the energy there. And it was just like, okay, like it was just very empowering. We can do this. And you could just clearly see their stance and, you know, what they stand for and what they want to accomplish and achieve. And, you know, of course, you know, if you see things on Twitter, if you see things on the news, you'll get clips of things, you know, but it just seems like the other side is more of like, well, we could say Merry Christmas and we can say God now. And like, it's more of like that than what they really want to do, because right now we should be having a stimulus package passed, and it's not about that at all. So it was just really nice to hear what their plans were and what they want to accomplish, and I just really hope it resonates and we can get that message across and get those 2 seats for you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love both of the candidates, and then another person that we had on for one of the events was Daniel Blackman, who's running for Public Service Commissioner of Georgia. And so if you can catch, definitely if you can catch him, as well as Randy Fagan. We had Randy Fagan on from the Voter Protection Coordinator at Fair Fight. So it was an event on Thursday, and maybe we can repost it in the groups, but it was really good. They both just really are very, very passionate about voting rights. And then Daniel was talking about just all the environmental justice issues in Georgia. And so, yeah, absolutely great candidates. And I do feel like, John and Reverend Warnock both are, and Daniel, they all communicate very clearly in a way that people can understand. That's not, all the way up here, but just really about how these policies and decisions impact people directly. So, yeah.
I had a quick question. Kelly got me thinking about like the lack of a stimulus package. Do you know if that lack of a stimulus package by the Senate Republicans, if that's having any impact on voters in their voting decisions, voting early?
Yeah, I would think so. Because yeah, definitely I know. Well, I just know I heard, I think Mitch McConnell, when they were discussing at one point to even have another stimulus package before the new year, and McConnell, I don't know if it was a direct quote or what, but he said, I guess he was talking to someone, and he said something to the effect of like, the only reason they're really considering this was because Kelly and David are getting slammed in Georgia about this, relief, so, but I mean, it's just like the contempt, that they have for people. I mean, it's crazy, but so if they're thinking that, I do feel like, yes. And just based on some of the people I've talked to when I've, phone banked or, talked to different people, they definitely have that on their mind, because a lot of people have been able to just sort of stay afloat, but now that things are running out towards the end of the year, they don't know what they're going to do. So yeah, it's crazy. It's just really, it's even crazy to even like that we are even in this position, in the first place, but it is what it is. And at least we have a shot, one more shot to hopefully win the Senate.
Absolutely. I think we got this. I don't want to talk too soon, but I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Ladies, any other questions for Robin tonight? On now, we're being shy.
I guess my only thing would just be, with the holidays, and so this is our last Friday, because the next two Friday you got Christmas and you have New Year's, and so we're not doing this. But is there anything else besides postcarding? Like, because right after and then it's election day. Like, so for people who might be taking the next 2 weeks, who maybe aren't in Georgia, or might be doing postcards and things like that, especially once January 1st hits, is there anything else or any direction to give us of, okay, this is what we're going to need? Like, where should we stay tuned at?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so let's see. Things will still be going on here.
I know.
But again, you have to, take time for yourself, especially if you can. Yeah, as far as what you could do, I mean, donating is always, still helpful. And then, and I can put, a couple of donation links in there too.
So if we get any Christmas money or anything like that, we can donate.
Yeah. Kari put it in the chat. GASenate.com splits the donations between Fair Fight and campaigns. And then there's also thankyouga.com, which is another fundraising effort that will split donations between local organizations on the ground, like the New Georgia Project and various organizations. And then, I mean, phone banking is, I know I've heard Fair Fight is looking for, need more phone bankers, because they've been doing a lot of texting, but they've kind of, I mean, I don't know if they've reached their cap or limit, but there's just certain people that you can only reach by phone. So I know someone was saying Fair Fight's looking for phone bankers. Another good thing that could be is very helpful is the Georgia Democrats voter protection team. They are already, reaching out to people who may have had issues with their ballots during the general, and they're trying to make sure that they're okay this time around. And then, they're also reaching out to people whose ballots have been rejected, because they have to be notified and given time to cure their ballots. So, so they have remote opportunities too. And sometimes it's just even calling people to confirm, that they're coming to a canvas or they're going to do something. So that's always helpful. And then of course, the campaigns, phone banking, and then social media is always helpful too, because if you can just, again, recruit people to donate or to volunteer, that's helpful. And just any uplifting information about the candidates as well. So that, continue, to put out there as well. So those are the only things as far as like once the postcarding, is over, then it's like, those are the things that you could, definitely keep doing, between now and then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in the groups, I'm sure I'll be posting something.
Yeah. It's like, I already feel the anxiety now. I can't imagine how it feels on the ground, but it's like, it's just knowing how important those 2 seats are. I was going through my phone last night, because I'm like, I have so many like screenshots, and I'm like just deleting all, and I got up to around the election time, like a couple of weeks leading up to election and election day, all the screenshots of things like, Georgia, and like sending to friends and stuff, and I came across one where it was like, they increased our chances in the House of, picking up 10 to 15 seats, and, the Senate was. And it's like, you look back and it's like, crap, that didn't happen. Like, there were certain things like that just didn't happen. And, it just sort of like, it just makes you realize the importance of just the continual work and on the ground efforts of, making every single moment kind of count, so that we can make those things happen. Like, kind of like Mayor Lance Bottoms was saying, in her speech. So it's, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, they, the other side, they have their, voters and, supporters. One thing is that we'll have to see, but, when Trump has not been on the ballot, and that was like that's one thing that used to always, concern me over that 4 years when, the Democrats were making these gains in 2018 and 2019, but Trump was not on the ballot, and he was an incumbent and everything. And so, so his supporters did come out, and tried to defend, his presidency and everything. So one thing is, he won't be on the ballot this time around. And so in the past, when he has not been on the ballot, Republicans they didn't do as well. So, hopefully that will change, or that will stay the same, because he's, just launching a full out, war against a lot of these of the Republican opponents. So, hopefully, his supporters will follow, what he wants, and just, yeah.
And I think the importance of the early, I mean, you guys are doing everything you can to get that early vote in. And I think that's just going to be so important, because to have an election just a few days after the holidays and New Year's Day, like, I don't know, but usually everyone's in a blur, and it's, like, it just, like, unless if it's really that important to you to go vote, I feel like a lot of people are going to stay home, because it's just, you have there's just such this, like, I don't know what it is after the holidays, right? It's like, you're just so drained, like any little extra thing you don't want to do. So I think the push,
are going to be harassed,
well, I know we're gonna do that, but I just really think the importance that you guys are doing right now of getting that early vote in, and getting people to get their absentee ballots is just going to be really important, because we saw how that impacted Pennsylvania, right? Everyone was like, but all these are the absentee ballots, right? And they're going to go to the Democrats, and those are really going to play, I think, a key role in this particular election. I don't know how they're counting it. I'm not sure if they'll be counted second or after. I'm not sure the process.
Are they going to count early, Robin? That's a good question. Are they allowed to start counting early?
I think some counties are going to start to count early. Or I think it's up to the county. But that was one thing I think Verify was asking. We're trying to work with different boards of elections in different counties to see if they would do it. I haven't heard a whole lot about it, but in passing I did hear that there are counties. I don't know which counties, if they're large counties or not, but some I think are going to try to start counting early, but I'm still feeling like we may not know for, a couple of days, maybe.
Right.
I don't know if I can take that again.
As long as they're counting all of those ballots and
I was gonna say a couple days. I'll
Right.
take it if it means we get two other seats there. Like a whole week, I might be losing it after a week.
Oh
But
gosh.
a couple days, like even in New Jersey, they started counting our ballots 10 days early from that November election. Because it was an all vote by mail election. There was really not much in person at all due to COVID. So, the process I think worked really, really well. At first I was a little apprehensive about it. Like, I don't know, 10 days before it seems a little, but they know what they're doing. They have their, I have a lot of respect for the Board of Elections and everything that they do to, get this right and have the process work. It's quite amazing to see it happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I have a quick share.
Please do, Christina. Go ahead.
So last week I kind of had an idea of starting like funding and then sending it on to your friends. So I did do that with an email, and I basically named it. I got a peach, for Georgia, and put it in the email, and it was funding $5, excuse me, for the flip. And then I had my friend make a graphic, and I've been tweeting it like constantly all week, and I just plan to keep doing that. But I challenge my friends, and I send everybody, pardon my voice, I send everybody to the link that splits it between fair fight and the two candidates, and basically challenge them to donate $5, and then ask friends to donate $5 and try to keep it going. And that's what I've been tweeting. So feel free to steal that idea and do that with your friends.
Oh, I love it.
So good.
Love it. Fabulous. That's the type of stuff. Every little bit starts to add up over time. Like I said, I feel pretty good. And I have to admit, the night of the presidential election, I was feeling pretty good too, because I felt like we all laid it out there on the line. I mean, if it wasn't going to happen, it wasn't because we didn't work hard and we didn't do everything physically possible to make it happen. And I really do feel the whole country focused on Georgia and everyone trying to do their best to help out. Even as far as us over here in Jersey, and where we are around the nation, that I feel pretty good. Those numbers that you gave, Robin, that was so exciting. Like, that's the type of stuff we need to hear. It like really fuels the fire. But definitely remember, we'll be gearing up and doing a couple more probably engagements right after the new year to help out as well. We'll be working with Robin on some ideals of things that we can do to help out. So is there anybody else wants to say anything just for the good of the sisterhood before we conclude for this evening?
I just love our chat.
I do too. It helps me end my week,
It does, everybody can relate to our different dealings of this whole process. And, I'm so looking forward to, this Senate race and inauguration is like I'm keeping my kids home from school that day. We are celebrating here.
Ooh, I love it.
And Rachel saw it. I had my neighbor's a photographer, so I had her do like family photos to put on the Christmas cards, but we had to get some Biden pictures in there. So I have my big Biden flag. My kids got their future voter shirts on. I had my Jersey Girls for Joe shirt. My husband had a Clinton Gore t-shirt on. and we took a picture, and that went to every family member, whether they supported Trump or Biden or whomever. And too bad.
Love it.
Love it.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
You can have it. You got to show it. You don't happen to have it hanging around there anywhere.
Oh, I
What
do.
are you
Let me
showing?
pull it up.
Yeah, it was adorable, guys. You have to see this.
Look at Gina's card.
I'm holding
Okay.
it up. Where's
I
your
got it
card?
now. Can you see?
It's hard to
Let me
see, Jen.
see.
Oh, it's hard to see. Well, it's the
Wait,
small.
where-
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, you have my
Yeah.
card there? Oh, yeah, I
I
have
love
it
it.
here. Let me see.
Oh, is that Kelly's card? Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
There.
My favorite card, Kelly.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Cool. I like that.
How awesome is that?
That's great.
Champagne and all.
Mhm.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for helping me make it through the election and beyond. Because
Aw.
this sisterhood of, getting us through this, and I know we all didn't want to wake up like we did back in 2016 that next day. So that really does drive you, and just, all together again for Georgia. And I have a good feeling. And I've taken the day off. I have my whole day off. I'm taking the day off for inauguration. I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I will never take it for granted. I mean, I always took election day off and usually tended to the next day because, I mean, although usually the election was over by, 10, 11, 12, not anymore. But yeah, this year inauguration day is just too important. So kids are staying home. We're watching it, every minute of it, and celebrating, having a little party.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
well,
jump off. I have one more Zoom, but thank you everybody again.
Thank
We
you.
all
Thank you,
appreciate you,
Robin.
Georgia, and everything that you've done. So thanks again for keeping the energy going after the general election. Appreciate it.
Thank
No,
you,
thank
Robin.
you.
Happy
All right.
holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's
Merry
if I don't
Christmas,
talk to you.
I
everybody.
know, I know.
Happy
Take
holidays.
care.
Yeah. All
All right,
right.
ladies, unless anyone has anything else, as they say for the sisterhood, I'm going to say good night, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year's. And we will be in touch either by social media or by our newsletter. And thank you so much for hanging in there with us with the Jersey Girls all this time. It's been long. We've been kicking this out since, wow, late March, early April. So
Mhm.
it's been a long summer and fall, but we got it done. But we're not done yet because we got to bring it over the finish line on January 5th for Georgia. And then once we're done there, we got to rev back up again because there's a lot of legislation that we need to make sure gets pushed through. So with that being said, Kelly, did you want to say anything, or Kari, before we go?
No, I'm good. Just wishing everyone a happy holidays and take a little time, to try to chill out. Like I said, I'm gonna get my postcards done this weekend and then try to bring it down a little bit.
Yes.
And then see what we can do about those last few days for Georgia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Rest and recharge. That's
Yeah.
be my goal. Try to get a little bit of something in there. I
Yeah.
did, since Daniel was brought up, I did want to let everybody know, and Kelly, you might need a new script, so let me know. We just did, after we saw Daniel talk, hear him speak, Daniel Blackman, we put him on our postcards.
Oh,
He was just so
Okay.
dynamic. And also
was
on
on
the
there.
Jersey Girl script too, we added his name on there. So we changed the script a little bit to
Okay.
be able to fit all that information, but we did add Daniel because he is just, he is fantastic. And so he is on there now.
I
And
feel like I might have it, but if you want, re-forward it to me, maybe.
okay, yeah, I'll just
If
send
you
it
have the new name to make sure I get it on there.
Okay. And then also on Tuesday, I forgot to announce, it's pretty exciting. We do have Amy Ray from the Indigo Girls. It's going to be one of our musical guests.
okay.
Yeah, she's an incredible artist, and she's also an activist. She's been a long time activist. So that'll be on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time is when that starts. It goes for 2 hours. So if anybody here watching the live stream wants to pop on, again, you can go to onvoiceforhumanity.org/postcarding. But we're really excited to have Amy, and scheduled on the 29th as our speaker, we do have Latasha Brown. So we're pretty excited
Nice.
to have her on that following Tuesday on the 29th. So
Mhm.
we're trying to make our last two of this election cycle and of this year to be pretty big and pretty inspirational and dynamic. So check us out. And
Definitely.
and
Kari,
that's
you're going to
exciting.
send it to us and or just go post it on our social media pages, right?
Yeah. And so we'll be promoting that. Our social media is at the Envoy Way on all the socials. So So yeah, so it'll be a good 2 weeks to kick off or to kind of wind down everything that we've been doing for this election cycle. So
Look what I just got in the mail.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas card from Governor Murphy and the family.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
love it. How
let me,
nice.
let me spotlight you. Hold on.
Oh,
She's
I
like,
can
"Let me
show it
see."
again. Oh,
oh.
that's very cool.
This is our fabulous
What a great
progressive
family.
governor in New Jersey and his family.
Yes.
We love him here in Jersey.
Uh-huh. We
She's
do.
like, uh-huh.
That's next year. That's next
Yes.
year.
We have that race next year. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
ladies, thank
that's
you
all
so
right.
much for hanging in there with us and joining us every Friday, and being faithful and doing the work. I think the fruits of our labors will come in on January 5th. And with that being said, we'll be celebrating then. So love you all. Thank you for joining us, and good night. Happy holidays.
Good night. Happy
Take care.
holidays.
Bye. Good night,
Night.
everyone.